Hi everyone, Namaskaram and good evening. You've tuned into Sakshi TV and this is Money Mantra. Na peru Karunya Rao and every Friday laga malli మేము వచ్చాం మీకోసం మార్కెట్ ర్యాప్ అండ్ అనాలిసిస్ ఇయడానికి ఇవాళ మాతో జాయిన్ అవబోతున్నారు మిస్టర్ ఐకే ప్రభాకర్ ఫ్రమ్ IDBI Capital. Mr. Prabhakar, welcome on board and thank you for joining us.
Good evening.
Good evening, and not just a good evening. It's been a very, very good week for the markets. Once again, we made a fresh record high, just shy of that 19,600 for Nifty 50. Sensex also we saw breaching 66,000 mark for the first time. What do you think is aiding the market? Markets ki rally aindi danki strength ela ustondi. What are the factors?
See, there are a few things which are happening across the globe. One thing is inflation has come down or cooled down globally and even in India. And there are apprehension in China. So that money is flowing to other emerging market. It is not India which is only a beneficiary. There are other markets which are also benefiting from the flows which is not getting into China. So no, we are a major recipient, but even Korea, Vietnam, there are other countries getting that money. So I think it is a emerging market global rally which is happening, and it is what to say scaled up our rally also in a very big way.
That's right, but. What phase of the bull run are we in right now? Will this sustain, do you think? Are there enough fundamentals in place to sustain and grow this?
I feel so. No, about 2 years back in 2021, we made a high of 18,600, post which we corrected. So if we take now the high to today, it is hardly 1,000 points that we have rallied. So no, it is not maximum, but because we corrected and we have rallied, it looks like we have rallied big. But we need to understand now market can be at all-time high. IT stocks are not at all-time. The top 5 or top 6 stocks are not at all-time high. Pharma is not at all-time high. There are many stocks and sectors which has not performed. So there is a selective performance. In the last 2 years, defense related stock has performed, your capital goods has performed. So no, it is not a euphoric market. We have just started the bull market. Maybe there is another 2-3 years of bull market ahead.
So what is IDBI Capital's forecast? Where do you see things go by maybe end of this year? What is your analysis?
See, for us, we are a stock picker. We don't look at Nifty per se because, Nifty, because of the option writing and other things, it does not behave the way, any analyst would predict. So it is more of stock specific. We like many stocks. Now, even in different space, few stocks have performed, but few stocks have valuations are still attractive. Now, you take, Cochin Shipyard or Musgon Dock, their order book is getting bigger, but they have not performed the way HAL or other stocks have performed. So there are selective gap there. Even Bharat Forge, for that matter, which is becoming a bigger defense play and capital goods play, it has not performed. So there are many stocks which are not performing. We like those kind of segments. We like Rolex ring capital goods, which people don't track. Even Harsha Engineering is one more we like. We like power sector, NLC and Tata Power in power we like. We like IT stocks. After the correction, we think if you are looking at 1 to 2 year, IT stock is a place to be there.
Just my viewers benefit kosam I'll just paraphrase what Mr. Prabhakar said. Defense plays, select defense plays lo chala positive ga unnaru. Not only our shares evi baga rally and run up chusai kani smaller and more low key players like Harsha Engineering, like Rolex rings is something that IDBI is betting on right now. Adhikaka select IT stocks kuda. Mr. Prabhakar, I know, you may not want to answer this in Telugu, but I know that you understand Telugu, so I'm going to ask you. IT sector, ee varam numbers chusam, TCS, Wipro, HCL Technologies, largely weak, modest, muted numbers and guidance market factor in chasindi. Kani, ikkad nunchi, what do you expect in the coming quarters? Because commentary and guidance was also not very positive.
So, no, in the commentary, they have said that the second half will be good. No, the first half, anyway, it is a washout for the first half. But they are saying from second half things can pick up. And, market expected things to be very worst, but that didn't happen. And in case of TCS, it was better than the worst which everybody expected. So I think in the last, after these 2-3 results, the market has given a thumbs up to IT. No, and with the interest rate also, the inflation not going beyond a point, things have started to improve. That is why in the last 3-4 days, your IT rally has started, and that has made market make an all-time high. Today, now I was looking at TCS, Infosys, TechMine, everything is up because of this factor, and I think there are few management change, and which can have a positive rub-off effect. See, I hold Tech Mahindra. But for the viewers, I'll tell you, Tech Mahindra is going to have a new CEO, Mr. Mohit Joshi. Now he comes from Infosys. Now and that is going to be a game changer in the industry. So he was the way things are panning out. If things work out, then this can be a stock which can double in next 3-4 years. So there are a lot of changes which are happening. Zensar Tech, there is a new management. So this speculation is on new management who are very effective. And if the things click, then those stocks becomes a multi-bagger normally.
Right. In fact, Tech Mahindra has been a bit of an underperformer. I mean, all of them took a beating, but perhaps Tech Mahindra saw more of a pressure than its peers. But just for our viewers, ఈ వారం ఏమో IT index బాగా jump చేసింది, 5% almost gain అయింది ఈ వీక్ లోని. Top gainers ఉండేవి the likes of Infosys, Tata Consultancy Services, ఇలాంటి heavy weights బాగా లాభాలు చూసాయి ఈ వారంలో. But Mr. Prabhakar, coming back to you, would you say technically and fundamentally, I mean, fundamentally, is the worst over? Is the pain over? Because you said second half will be much better. So do you think in quarter 2, the pain will bottom out? And even if we look at the valuations and the technicals, do you think that pretty much all the selling that was happening in the IT stock will now sort of will take a breather at least?
See, valuation wise, your Tech Mahindra, your Infosys, HCL Tech, they are at a very, reasonable valuation. Now, if you take a 10-year period, so they are very attractive. The mid cap is where the run up has happened. The run up has started, long back, and now they have become expensive, and your large cap is very attractive. So it happens in market any point of time. But mid cap, except for few companies, the rally, many are at all-time high. You take Sonata Software, many, persistent systems or anything, they have done very good. And, you have LTI Mindtree where the merger has happened. And that benefit of merger will take another 6 months to reflect. There are pockets of valuation comfort. It is about the investor, to know what is the risk they are taking. If they understand the risk, the reward is also will be there.
Okay, all right, makes sense. Let's move on to metal space. Metals lo kuda chala volatility chusam memu, but this week, of course, it has been a good week for metal names as well. If we look at the weekly heavyweight gainers, there's Tata Steel and Hindalco, which saw a very strong buying. Talk to us about metals, and even if we look at the macros, Mr. Prabhakar, IIP numbers a couple of days back, and even those numbers have been fairly optimistic. So talk to us about how the metal space is looking right now.
Metals has surprised me. In last 34 years, metal cycle, they were very cyclical. And they behaved in a different way, about 4 years back, till 4 years back. But this time, there are stocks which are making all-time high, and there are stocks which are 40% down or 30% down from the high. Global slowdown, and China not performing well. no, JSW Steel and Jindal Steel has been outperforming, no, which is a big surprise for me. So, no,
Hmm.
I don't think we have a view. We have a negative view on metals, but it is going
Okay.
contrary to our house view. No, that is something I also don't understand. Even my analyst doesn't understand this. So I think we are getting the metal pack wrong.
Okay. So, IT sector earnings already Madlai. We also saw business updates coming from many banks, NBFCs, FMCG companies. Um, not only steel, but metals is looking at a lot of action. So, who, according to you, will be the outlier in Q1 earnings this time? What are the projections?
See, power as a sector, is something, to look at. They might surprise, and there are many companies, individually, instead of going sector wise, now NBFCs can do very good. Small finance
Hmm.
bank can do very good. So, like that, for example, life insurance, we had COVID for the last 3 years. Now we are out of the COVID. Their growth has been good. I'm talking about private life insurance. So they can do
Hmm.
very good. So there are pockets where we expect positive results to come. Even pharma, which has not been performing for the last 2, 3 years, there can be some positive surprise. Now there
Hmm.
was destocking in US, which is over. That is what the commentary we heard last time in the pharma. Now that can start to pick up. One or two positive results from pharma will surprise the market. And chemical,
Hmm.
everybody is negative on chemical. So the prices are not great. The price due to China dumping is not great. But there also one or two positive surprise is possible.
Okay. One of our viewers is writing us a comment on our YouTube feed, wants to know how's the FMCG sector looking and if you have any favorites there. That's something you haven't touched upon yet.
See, there is rural stress, and people
Hmm.
have been, because of high inflation, people have not been spending. So the data says, in FMCG the growth is going to be not great. So if you are a long term investor, it is okay, but in the last 6 months, people are not spending, and that
Hmm.
is leading to FMCG underperformance. But we have stocks like VBL, which has outperformed. Now, and Pepsi today came out and said their growth is high single digit. That means VBL still will do very good. So QSR has not done great. And people
Hmm.
after lockdown, the opening up is not playing good for QSR. The reasons unknown. Better Food has done
Hmm.
better than your QSR space. So it is a mixed bag. But we like gold jewelry. Titan is something we
Okay.
like, Kalyan Jeweler, and we like the
Hmm.
new listing which is likely to be listed. That is one pack we like.
In fact, Senco Gold was in focus today as well. I'm just quickly opening up the stock price as well. It didn't see a very strong close, at least. I mean, it was down by 6.5%. But yeah, the issue price, there was some, listing gains seen there. Even though the stock may not have ended on a high note. Senco Gold is also something you guys like.
Yeah, no. See, new listing is something. No, it takes time for the stock to stabilize. But I think for a long-term investor, it makes sense for investing in Senco Gold.
Okay, all right. Next couple of weeks, what will be you watching? What will you be watching out for from a from a data standpoint, from a market standpoint? Uh, చాలా మా వ్యూవర్స్ ఏమో న్యూ ఇన్వెస్టర్స్ కూడా సో వాళ్ళు ఎలా మార్కెట్స్ ట్రాక్ చేయాలి వాట్ షుడ్ బి ద మానిటరబుల్స్ అండ్ what will you be watching out for even if it's a certain kind of a potential risk to keep on your radar?
No, see, if you are a new investor, investing in value stock is far better. Many stocks have run up. Valuation wise, many are not very attractive. But we have touched on few attractive stocks. But if you are a long term investor and you are, then try to take high dividend yield stock. So that is safer bet. For example,
Hmm.
REC PFC. It has never rallied for the last 7, 8 years. All of a sudden a 10% yield stock has started to rally. So there are pockets of value like that. Coal India, not a great stock, but they give you almost 9% dividend yield, so which is better than your bank. And when a bull market comes, you will get 10-15% rally also. So it is a double whammy. So now like that you can select stock. Now, for example, NMDC. NMDC is at 113 or something. Last year they paid 3 rupees 75 paisa as dividend. Now and this year their cash generation can be higher because NMDC steel is demerged. So now there the dividend payout can be higher. Now it can be 4.5 rupees, 5 rupees. So the yield also increases, and the way the management wants to scale up their production of mines, and they are into diamond mining also, which many people don't know. And government has opened for lithium. So at current valuation, it is attractive. If it is 130, 140, you need to book profit also. So it is, these are trading stocks where in a year you get 10% plus you get the dividend deal. Now for a new investor, this is a better way to invest and make, rather than getting into stock where they don't understand.
Agree. In fact, మాకు ఇంకా కొన్ని కామెంట్స్ వస్తున్నాయి. I wanted to address bank stocks. We have a viewer, Koteswara Rao, is asking about shares in the banking space. How do you think will this quarter be good? Because as far as Q1 business update is concerned, అది కొంచెం mixed గానే ఉండేది.
We need to understand, in banks it is going to be a mixed bag because provisional numbers have been already given. So for example, HDFC Bank, the provisional numbers were not great, and we need to understand when you are expanding very aggressively. They have plans to expand 1,500 branches in FY24 and in FY25 1,500 branches. It is not going to be easy, to maintain their margins, or NIMs will come down. So if somebody is very aggressive, then it is not going to play out. And where the stocks have played out, even the price is there. For example, IDFC First Bank, now it is getting into merger. So whenever you merge two entities, it takes 1-2 years for them to get the merged benefit. LTI Mindtree also was the same case. So now we need to be very careful in what we are investing. And when there is a management change, immediately the stock has performed. For example, Karnataka Bank. Now there was a change in the management, and when the management gave a commentary, the stock went up. So we need to be dynamic there. Federal Bank. So there are few pockets of value. So City Union Bank is something, it is corrected, and if they get their acts right, after 2 years at least, there will be a good rally, is what we feel. Now, IndusInd Bank is something we like. In PSU, we like Bank of Baroda and Union Bank. So these are few places we can look at.
Mr. Prabhakar, మీరు క్యాపిటల్ గుడ్స్ కంపెనీస్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతూ ఉండేవారు. One of our viewers, Subbaraju, is asking about infra companies as well. Are you also optimistic on that?
Yeah, we like, Hyderabad-based NCC is one of our top pick. And we like, NCC for a bigger target. Now, I think, the way of execution which they have done is very good. We like HG Infra, we like PNC Infra. And this government focus, and many state government focus, is building on infrastructure. There, even L&T is something we like. The way, I think Hyderabad Metro belongs to L&T, and where the number of passengers has hit a record high. So I think infra stocks over a period of time will generate return. So in that we like NCC and L&T. L&T already it has done its best. Valuation wise, NCC is the best we like for next 3 to 6 months. Election is around the corner. So I think more orders are possible also.
Okay, one last question, Mr. Prabhakar, before we wrap up. ఇప్పుడు ఎంటర్ ఎవరవ్వాలి మార్కెట్ లోని అనుకున్నారంటే వాళ్ళు స్ట్రాటజీ ఏంటుండాలి? షుడ్ దే వెయిట్ ఫర్ అ బెటర్ ఎంట్రీ పాయింట్, ఆర్ డూ యూ థింక్ రైట్ నౌ ఈవెన్ అట్ ద రికార్డ్ లెవెల్ ఇప్పుడు ఎంటర్ అవ్వచ్చు మార్కెట్ లో అండ్ ఇన్వెస్టింగ్ జర్నీ మొదలెట్టొచ్చు?
మార్కెట్ లో అన్ని టైం మంచి టైమే. So I don't think anybody can time the market. No, so no,
Yeah.
that is why we say SIP is the best mode. So no, if you think you want to put some money, at least 50% has to be invested, and whenever there is a correction, see
Hmm.
whatever I've seen in market, correction has never told us and come. Now let it be Lehman crisis in 2007, or the crisis of COVID which happened in 2019-20. Never the market has intimated us before saying that I'm going to correct.
Hmm.
So and when everybody has been negative, market about 4 or 5 months back, people were very negative and market has
Yeah.
rallied. So it is better to be invested, but the percentage of what you have invested should differ. So now market has
Hmm.
rallied, at least 50% you have to invest. And there are stock which has not rallied and where valuations are very attractive. We can look at it. So I'll give you one example, Gland Pharma, which is
Hmm.
which has a lot of troubles, but I think over a period the trouble. So that is a good investment. Tech Mahindra we talked about. That is a good investment.
Hmm.
NCC is a good investment. Tata Power,
Right.
when you read the balance sheet, they say their revenue will be 3 times in the next 5 years. It is a Tata Group company, and their
Hmm.
net profit for FY23 was 3,810 crores. Now, 3 times means the valuation becomes very attractive. So, somebody looking
Yeah.
at 5 years, I don't think you need to time more. You can do a SIP in Tata Power.
Right. Right. In fact, Santosh, one of our viewers, is saying that he is a first-time investor. I hope him and several others watching us, వాళ్ళందరూ note చేసుకున్నారు మీ ఇచ్చే insights, మీ ఇచ్చే observations and analysis of the market. Mr. Prabhakar, it was a pleasure having you on board. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.